Hi everyone, welcome back to HR Lounge, and I'm super excited to be here, especially doing today's topic as we'll be rounding up with the employee aspect of our Triple E series. Last week or last video, we spoke about employees identifying who they are and some of their characteristics. If you missed that, please do well, go check it out and then come back here to continue with the last part of the employees. So what is the Triple E series? It's just basically us identifying or understanding three components in employment. Employer is one of them, right? So we have employee, employer, and employment. Understanding these three components and everything that has to, not everything, majority of the things or important things that people actually ignore about these three components, just all digesting it and understanding them better. Okay, let's go right into today's video. Today's video, our topic is employee satisfaction versus employee engagement. If you are a human resource practitioner, please get a seat close to me. Let's discuss, because today's topic is specially for you, in as much as it's for everybody that is in employment. It's also important that HR personnel understand this, because the understanding of this topic will either make or break your HR strategy. If you do not understand what it is, it's going to break your HR strategy. But if you understand the integrity of it and how it works, it's going to definitely make your HR strategy, and it's a plus for your HR. So let's go. We'll start with understanding the terms, like contextual definition or understanding. So what exactly is employee satisfaction, and what exactly do we understand by employee engagement? So employee satisfaction, right? What exactly is that? I don't want to use the word satisfied again. So yes, employee satisfaction basically has to do with how happy and content the employees are with their job. Basically, how happy and content they are with their job. And on the other hand, employee engagement is deeper than employee satisfaction, because this has to do with the emotional commitment. So one leads to another, and from our definition, you'll see that employee satisfaction leads to employee engagement, because that's like the deeper version of it, because it's not just how happy, it now has to do with what employee would do because they are happy. So that is employee engagement. Do you get that? Yeah, so basically that's the definition between both of them. One is deeper than the other. The deeper one has to do with emotional commitment. Satisfaction as to how happy. So it's about the employee, what they do to make sure that employees are happy. Employee engagement, on the other hand, after the employer has done everything to make employees happy, what exactly do the employee do? They are committed to the job. They make sure that the goals of the organization are achieved. You know, it's like I give you flour and everything that you need to bake your cake. I've satisfied you. Do you understand? What do I get in return? It is you, your commitment to make sure that you bake a very beautiful and tasty cake for me. That's it. That's a perfect, I don't know how I just cooked that now, but that's a perfect explanation of employee satisfaction and employee engagement. Let's go further to just differentiate them, right? I'll be using different focus to just make sure that we understand this thing properly. So the first one is I'll be looking at drive. What drives employee satisfaction, and what exactly drives employee engagement? For the drive on what drives employee satisfaction, I would say is the pay, the benefits, yes, and all necessary tools. Like if we give employee the right pay, you give them all the necessary benefits like the HMO, like the pension, like increase their salaries, yes, a competitive salary. You give them the right work tools, that's with the laptop, the phone, the data, everything to make their work easy. You are driving employee satisfaction on 100. That's what drives employee satisfaction. Yes, you give them, and that's it I just came to mind. You give them the right seats, not just laptop and data. You give them the right seats and work desks, because that's very important to some people, especially now where many people are complaining of backaches and all of that. That leads to employee satisfaction. On the other hand, what drives employee engagement? After giving them all of this, you have satisfied them, because I don't think anybody want to work in an organization where the work tools are not good enough for them to work. Then how do you expect them to give you the results that you want them to give you? So after you must have satisfied them, what really drives employee engagement is motivation and compliments. You'll be like, yes, motivation. So I said compliment, sorry, commitment, not compliment, commitment. After you have said giving them all of this is one aspect to motivate them. So you see the motivation is there. That's after you have satisfied them. Satisfaction in itself is a motivation. Then you also motivate them by little things like employee of the month. You reward their hard work. So when someone does something, you recognize them, let them know that they are seen, let them know that they are heard, and let them know that nothing that they do goes unnoticed. You motivate the staff. Even when you do not increase their salaries, they are motivated because they see the other little things that you do. That drives employee engagement. And once an employee is engaged, they will go all out. Trust me. Once they feel motivated, when I do this work, at the end of the year, for example, and they are giving awards, they usually recognize me. I want to do more, put in my best. I am committed to make sure that I go all out. I do 100%. So that yes, I get more awards and more recognition. And recognizing employees doesn't need to cost you a lot, like break the bank. Just think outside the box, HR, right? You could have it maybe a board where you have employee of the month or quarters, or you can do it the e-way, like send an email with their pictures. You can buy them little things. We saw the work you did last week, thank you. Give them tiny things. All employee needs is for them to be motivated. Let them know that they're ahead, and when they give feedbacks, work on those feedbacks. That's another way to motivate them. They know that when we speak here, this organization is committed to being better. That's why motivation and commitment to work hand in hand. I hope you do understand. I've not been able to convince you, but I've not been able to confuse you, but I've been able to convince you that employee satisfaction and employee engagement are two different things, even though they can work hand in hand, but they are two different things, as one is deeper than the other, right? Let's move to the next focus. We spoke about drive, so let's look at the risks. What is the risks attached to employee satisfaction? The risks attached to employee satisfaction, that if you don't satisfy your employee, that you don't give them the pay and all of those things we mentioned earlier, is low morale. Their morale will be down. Doesn't mean they will not work. They will do the work with what you have given them to work with. Those things that you're giving them to work with, exactly what they will work with, but their morale will be, it's gonna be down, and they'll be grumbling. That's the risk attached to that if you don't satisfy them. So let's move to the other side. What is the risk attached to employee engagement? Employee engagement, high turnover. They'll be jackpot from your organization, like they will leave. No employee wants to stay in an organization where they are not recognized, where all of their efforts are not seen. They are just going down the drain. You are putting all of the effort to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and the organization is never recognized. Instead, so let's assume an organization where you have like a toxic boss, and everything you do, not just toxic boss, but like a competitive boss that, or bosses that They don't want you to excel beyond where, you know, beyond where they think you should excel to. They don't want you to pass them, in layman's language, to pass them, to be above them. You know, they will try to just water down all of your efforts or take credit for what you have done. In that kind of an organization, you cannot have employee engagement. Employee can never be engaged there. They can only stay in the organization maybe because they don't have any other way to go, place to go. So it will just follow that satisfaction, and their morale will be low. But if you want to have an engaged employee, the work environment has to be top notch. The work environment has to be sane. It has to be very conducive. So even with the managers, like top management, so it's from top to bottom. Yeah. So high turnover is one risk for employee, what's it called, employee engagement. Another one is low performance. If they are not engaged, they will not perform well. But once your employees are engaged, trust me, 100%, 1000%, I know percentage is 100, but they will go over and beyond for that organization to ensure that the organization achieves its goal. So that those are the risks: low performance and japa, high turnover. And you know that when there's a low performance, what happens to the organization? You won't meet your goal, no profit, nothing. In a long run, that organization can pack up. So please, employee engagement is very, very, very important. And for the final focus in digesting these two elements, I would go with let me say the typical behavior. Yeah, the typical behavior of a satisfied employee and was a committed or an engaged employee. I don't know what's happening to my head today, but a satisfied employee and an engaged employee. A satisfied employee will be happy you're working. So we said we are looking at the typical behavior. So he'll be happy, he or she will be happy and will show up to work. They will always show up because they are satisfied. They will always come to work. But coming to work, does it now naturally translate to high performance? It's for you to find out, especially HR. But they would always come to work. They will not give the excuse of or calling in sick, giving other flimsy excuses. They will show because they are certified. They have all that it takes to work in that organization, and they want to collect their fat salary at the end of the month. So to always show, that's the body language or typical behavior of a satisfied employee. On the other hand, what is the typical behavior of an engaged employee? I've mentioned it while explaining employee engagement. They will not just do the basics like a satisfied employee would do. They will just come, like I said, they will show up, do what is expected of them, of like, we are keeping to our contract. You do this for me, I do this. Otiparing, that is it. An engaged employee will do more than the basics. They will go over and beyond to make sure that the organization achieves its goal. They will do things that, those are the ones that you say over sabi, you call them over sabi employee, employee of the month. You know how you tease people that go over and beyond. It's because they are engaged. They are committed to making sure that the organization thrives. They go the extra mile. They are the ones that if closing time is 5 o'clock, they can stay till 9 p.m. to make sure that even though they have done what they have. So don't get me wrong. Two things will make an employee stay longer than the usual closing time. Is either because they are engaged or because during work hours they were playing or doing some other things that distract and they want to just make up for that. So I'm not talking about the ones that is because they are committed to seeing everything moves well in the organization. That's the set I'm talking about. They're the engaged ones. Another factor or another typical behavior of an engaged employee is that they are innovative. because they are engaged, they come out, they think outside of the box, they come up with innovative ideas that would make the organization work. So they are the ones that during meetings, maybe an issue is shared, they think deep and they come up with solutions that even your manager, they will like, wow, because they have put themselves, they have the ownership mentality. Oh, that is it. They have that ownership mentality that they behave like they're the owners of the business, so they put themselves in the CEO's shoe, right? So that is it. I hope I've been able to do justice to this. If not, please leave a comment for me, send me emails. Let's know some topics you want us to discuss. Let's know the aspect that I've not touched that you would like us to talk about. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section. Do well to like, subscribe, and share with everybody that you know, right? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with these words. Just telling you that satisfied employees, they may stay. Because they are satisfied, they may stay in the organization. But engaged employee will not just stay, they will perform. I hope you got that, teacher. They will perform. So work not just to satisfy your employees, because that's one majority of HRs, you just give them what they and make sure they're satisfied. No, go beyond that. Ensure that they become engaged. So you to go the extra mile to make sure that they are motivated, so that they are engaged, because you need more of engaged staff than satisfied staff, because you need performance. You have your own target, HR. The organization's target is your target. So please ensure that your staff are not just satisfied, they are engaged, because they will not just stay in the organization, they will perform. Few tips for HR on how to keep your employees engaged. One, please take regular feedback. Do surveys, let them give you feedback on yourself, the organization, the management, your colleagues, on everybody, on everything, so that you see where you can work on. And when they give feedback, please do respond nicely. Tell them, oh, thank you, we'll work on this. And when you work on it, give them back the feedback and say, oh, we did this, kudos to you for your suggestion, for your comment. These are the little things that make them feel, oh, I am seen, I am heard, and they don't just see me and hear me, they work on my suggestion and they feel motivated. HR, do like this. Promise that you make your employees satisfied. You take feedbacks. Don't take the feedbacks as don't take it, rather take it with an open mind. It's a way of making you stronger and every other person, making you better. Don't take it in a bad way or bad light. Don't think they are coming to attack your person. Even though I know that some employees give you feedback, they put some kind of tone that is offensive, but on your side, HR, take it as an avenue of you doing your own self-assessment and that you need to work on, right? Okay, another thing is be a purpose-driven HR. Purpose-driven in your work, in decision. Make sure there is something you are working towards. Don't just do it because your job entails that you should make sure employees are satisfied. You give them all of it. No, have a purpose in giving them all of these things, in motivating them. What do you want? What is the goal that you want to achieve? With that, I think you will go all out to make sure that these people are engaged. My opinion, you can take it, but it's just my opinion and advice to you, HR. Also engage in career development and growth, not just for yourself but also for the employees. Make sure that if, for example, an employee came with a BSc, no, let me not use BSc, SSE, for example, or OND, yes, let's use OND. You are able to motivate the staff to maybe go to for HND or BSc and all of that. That's academics, right? But even with career, if the staff comes in at entry level, you'll be able to motivate that staff, be able to motivate the staff to work hard, let them know what it takes for them to move to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, and watch them put in their best, because I don't think anybody wants to be stagnant in their work. In HR we call it career plateau. Let career plateau be erased, HR, from you or your organization. Let there be career growth and development. So also train them, give them all that they need to grow in the organization, because growth is one thing that keeps employee engaged. If you see that they are growing, oh, I need to get to maybe my BSc or masters to be able to go to this level and be able to achieve so and so before I get to this, they'll put all that they have to make sure that they get there. So you can use that also to make them engage. Then also listen to what they are saying. Aside the feedback, you can have one-on-one talks with them. Some people can be honest enough to speak to your face and tell them, but as easy as how are you, go to offices. Oh, how are you? How you doing? How is your family? By the time they see that you're even concerned about people that they love, it's rings a bell in their head. They're like, oh, this organization is not just about work, what I do, you pay me and all of that. It is beyond that. They're even concerned about my well-being and my loved ones. They will be committed. So you see all these small things, they're the ones that make employees to be engaged. Right? So HR, we have a lot of work to do. So please go back to the drawing board. Make sure that you are doing all of this to make sure your employees are not just satisfied, but they are engaged. Because remember, a satisfied employee may stay, but an engaged employee will not just stay, but would perform. Till I come your way in another video, maybe we're talking about the employers now in our Triple E series. So please stay tuned and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with everyone. Bye.